The ABD 4.0 Open Beta is finally here after almost 5 years of waiting. This version of the game is a remake of the original. It has been in development since July 2025, which is just over a year. It is so important to reiterate that this is a beta version of the game. In the words of the community manager himself, this game is very extremely ever so absolutely unfinished. The game is very buggy, the game is very much missing things. This means that it is up to us, the players, to help them finish the game. You shouldn't be coming into this experience expecting something amazing, polished, or finished. What this actually is something to enjoy for the time being, while we assist the developers in steering the game onto the right path. In the coming weeks, the team themselves have said that we can expect to see many of the bugs fixed, as well as a lot of smaller changes and tweaks. If you're like me and you used to play the old ABD a lot in the 2020s, like early 2020s period, you'll know that it was probably, well, not probably, it was certainly the best JoJo game on the platform. I personally think that this version of the game is a perfect modernization of that original foundation. I know that I'm going to keep making and posting videos on this game. It's not only enjoyable for me, but it also motivates me. If you haven't tried this game yet, I encourage you to go do so. It's so nice to experience that classic JoJo game feel once again. Like I said, the game is quite bare bones right now. The only way it will become a more complete product is if people like you and me help the developers do that, by not only giving attention to the game, but also leaving feedback in the Discord server. At the top of the description, there'll be a link to the game and the Discord server. I urge you to show the game some love. I'm sure you will enjoy it. There are also timestamps in the description of the video. If you wish to find a specific part and skip to it, you should look there. And that's all from me for now. Enjoy the video.
Mambo, mambo, omatsuri, mambo.
When first opening the game, you'll be presented with a title screen. Click play and choose from 3 buttons: Game Modes, Public or Private. Game Modes showcases the game modes, which right now only Classic is available. Public shows you all the public servers that are currently available to join. And lastly, Private, I'm not going to click on because I don't want to show my code, but this takes you to private servers. A really cool thing about private servers in this game is that there's also a free-to-play way to obtain them. You can either buy them permanently for 200 Robux, or you can rent them for 200k Lyre a month. After you've explored the map a little, the first thing you want to do in the game are either look for an arrow, such as this one right here, or you want to travel to the docks to begin fishing. Both of these things I'll explain a lot more later on, so stay tuned for those. After you find and pick up an arrow, you may notice that it's not in your hotbar, and you also cannot open your inventory using the traditional Roblox key. Instead, if you open this sidebar here, go to inventory, you'll find your stand arrow inside your inventory. To equip it, you click on it, drag to your hotbar and click again. Then close your inventory with the X up here, and you can feel free to use stand arrow. If you're familiar with the gameplay loop of these games, you may also be wondering, how do I reset my stand? There are no Rokas to find, so how do I do it? Similar to the stand arrow, you open your inventory, and in the top right, next to your character, you'll see these 2 boxes. This top box here is your stand, and you click it, it removes your stand and puts it in your abilities tab. With the same as the arrows, you can equip it by clicking on it, dragging it to the ability box, and clicking again. The box below is for skins, which again I will talk more about later. And really, that's all you need to know for now. Most of the other things in inventory, such as emotes and accessories, are not really finished or functional. So you can basically say you have all of the basics of the game down already. Next up, I'll be showcasing every stand and ability that is currently in the game.
Mambo, mambo, omatsuri, mambo.
These stands are showcased in order from most common to least common. Mandom is the most common, where Shadow of the World is the rarest stand in the game. These statistics are based off of my own gameplay. The first stand we're going to be showcasing is Mandom. Now, unlike most of the other stands in the game, Mandom is permanently summoned and it's always on your shoulder, right here. Instead of having a summon on the Q key, Mandom has a time rewind, where you hold it down, and after 5 seconds, you go back to where you casted it. During the duration, you also got ESP as you saw there. As well as teleporting the player back to where they were, it also teleports enemies back. So here, if I move this dummy away, and then tap Q, as you can see, it's pretty buggy, but normally, if it worked fine, he would have been teleported right back to where he was. The second unique aspect of Mandom is the ammo passive, where in the bottom left of your screen you see this revolver icon. This signifies how many bullets you have in your chamber. 6 is max and you can go down to 0. The 2 abilities of your bullets are your left click and your E. As you can see, left click takes 1 bullet, the E takes 4 bullets. To regain bullets, you have to use your R skill, reload. You can hold it for as long as you want to regain as many bullets as you want. As you can see, hold it for a second, regain 1 bullet. Hold it for multiple seconds, and regain all of them. This can be cancelled at any point during the hold. Now, onto the 2 bullet skills, the left click and the E. Both of these are aimed with your mouse, so you aim your mouse up and the bullets will go up, whereas if you aim them at someone, it'll go towards that person. The left click, as you can see, is a simple single bullet fired at the enemy, whereas your E fan fire is mostly the same, but instead of 1 bullet it's 4, and they fire a lot quicker. Both these attacks apply bleed to the enemy. Now, Mandom's T and F skill, neither of these use bullets, despite the fact they actually shoot, so the F is steady shot. You hold it down and you can aim, release, and fire for a lot of damage, and it applies vulnerability and bleed, and ragdolls. The T, similar, a lot more close range, but it applies burn instead. Now, the last 2 combat abilities on Mandom, G and V, are just simple close range moves. G is the kick, which ragdolls and knocks back, and also applies vulnerability, while the V is a more simple jab. Mandom's final skill is H, True Man's World. A lot of people are confused about the skill, but it's really simple. Simply hold H and you'll start looking at your watch. After 10 seconds of time, you'll heal 22.5 HP. In this state, you can't attack, but you can move around at a slowed rate.
Mandom. そう認識していただきたい。ようこそ男の世界へ。改めてよろしくお願い申し上げます。
The next stand I want to showcase is Crazy Diamond. Now, I'm going to cover the barrage skill once here because it's the same with most stands, but it has a barrage you can hold, and at the end it does a heavy punch. Crazy Diamond's R skill has 2 uses. You can tap it once to activate Nosebreaker, knocks back and applies vulnerability, or you can hold it to activate Impale. There is another interesting interaction with Crazy Diamond's R and T. When you press R for Nosebreaker, you'll notice the enemy has a target around them. By pressing T, you instead summon 3 homing rounds on them instead of the usual bearing shot. This also uses a charge. Next up is the T skill. Like the R, you can either tap it to activate bearing shot, or you can hold it to activate rifle round. Now, when using Crazy Diamond, you may also notice these 2 bars on the side of your screen. The top one indicates your charges for bearing shot, and the bottom one indicates charges for. When using bearing shot, it uses a charge from here. Same as using rifle round, it also uses a charge, as you can see. You may think that it regenerates kind of slow for rifle round, but I find the best use for this is bearing shot. You can spam it with a low cooldown, as you can see. And you can get 2 uses out the charge for it. Crazy Diamond's next move is his Y, Rock Trap and Blood Slash. By holding Y, you activate Blood Slash, which harms you and then misses your opponent, because this move never lands. I'm not usually as critical of stands, I think all of them are usable, but this move in specific is barely usable. It's so hard to land, even up close. I'm pretty sure it's just broken, I would not use this for now. The other usage of Y is Rock Trap. By being close enough to your opponent and pressing Y, you can summon rocks around them, which damage them. This also puts them in a stunned state right here. As I mentioned earlier in the charges, you can also summon walls with Crazy Diamond. By holding or pressing B, you'll see its waypoint, and when released, it summons a wall. These walls heal the player and anyone else around them, and they despawn after a set amount of time or when the user dies. You can summon up to 3 walls at once. Crazy Diamond's next 2 moves are his G, Beatdown, and his V. His G is a simple beatdown. His V is even more simple. The last part of Crazy Diamond's kit is F, Restoration Mode. By pressing F, you enable Restoration Mode. You can tell it is on by the yellow V effects around the stand. Now here, it changes your E and your R to heal instead of doing damage. As you can see, the barrage doesn't change, but the R instead throws them away and brings them back. As well as the E and the nosebreaker changing, Impale has really cool functionality with this. By using Impale on an opponent, you still impale them, but after the hull recovers, they gain a damage buff and a large amount of healing. The next standout we're showcasing is Star Platinum. Like Crazy Diamonds, Star Platinum has a barrage skill. He also has an R skill, which is a lot less intuitive than Crazy Diamonds. Instead, it's just a simple heavy attack. Now, Star Platinum's T is Starfinger. It's a very close range attack which applies vulnerability and bleed. Star Platinum's Y skill is a projectile where he throws Iggy at the opponent. Iggy is not mouse aimed and instead travels directly where you're throwing. Again, similar to Crazy Diamond, Star Platinum's G skill is a grab where he does a beatdown on the opponent. The last move of Star Platinum's kit that does damage is B, Double Lock Strike. It's a two-part attack where the first part hits the opponent, and the second is a projectile. Now, the final move of Star Platinum's kit is his time stop. You press F, and stop time. Anyone within this circle you spawn is frozen, and any damage due to them will be applied after the time stop ends. Next up is the World. He also has a barrage skill, a heavy skill, and despite this being called Blazing Strike, it doesn't actually apply any burn. The World's T is a projectile knife throw. His Y is 2 uses. By tapping it, you activate Calf Kick, Simple Upfling, and by holding Y, you activate Flash Impale, which teleports toward behind the opponent and hits them from the back. Similar to the past two stands, the World has a beatdown. You press G, grab the opponent and pummel them. The World also has a counter, Sixth Sense. When activating Sixth Sense, you'll get a VFX around your head, and if you get hit during that state, you'll gain iframes for the next two attacks. I'd also like to add that if you land Sixth Sense, the cooldown is basically nothing. The last skill in the World's kit is Road Sign. By pressing B, you equip a road sign and slash an opponent with it. It is also important to note that the World and Star Platinum, being time stop stands, have a V skill, Teleport. By aiming your mouse towards the ground, you can teleport to a short distance in front of you. There's also the time stop, functioning similar to Star Platinum's. The range might be a little larger, but when you use knives in this form, they freeze in air until the time stop ends. And when time stop does end, they'll travel to the opponent, or wherever you threw them at. The next stand we're covering is D4C. Like other stands, D4C has a simple barrage, and his R skill, like other stands, is a heavy attack, although slightly different. As you can see, it applies bleed and also cuts their arm off. but I don't believe this does anything. I'm pretty sure the arm being on is purely visual. D4C's next skill, Gunsmoke, is on his T. By clicking it, you summon a flag. The gun will ready, and when you release T, it fires. I believe this is auto tracks, but I may be wrong. D4C's Y skill is a simple uppercut. D4C's J skill, from the universe, summons a clone of whoever it targets. This clone will run towards them and explode upon contact. But be careful, the clone can be killed, although it does not explode upon death. D4C's next skill is his V, Flag Strike. This is traversal move, where upon holding V, he turns to a flag and slides across the floor. Now, if you ever play GPO, this is kind of like Pika Flight, wherein you bounce off the walls but can't control the direction you aim. This move also has combat usage, wherein if you hold V and release it upon opponent, you do a small strike. D4C's next two skills are, in my opinion, what makes him the coolest stand in the game. He has H, Dimensional Shift, wherein he teleports to another dimension. As far as I know, there are 5 dimensions in the game currently. There's this desert one, there's the original ABD map, Mr. President's room, a cool little dungeon grass area, and there is a underground sewer area. Upon pressing H again, he returns to the original position where he was after casting it. D4C's G skill has 2 uses. Whilst tapping G, you send an enemy to an active dimension, wherein they get beat up on by an enemy and eventually return back. As you can see, the move is quite buggy. Sometimes the enemy just dies, or when they return they're flung under the map.
Oh! Oh! Complete buns, but... Oh, now I'm in the sewer.
The second use of this skill is done by holding G instead of pressing G. What this does is it sends them to a passive dimension. Whilst they're in passive dimension, if you use Dimensional Shift, you'll be teleported to the same dimension as them. You can explore the map together. The final stand I'm showcasing is Shadow the World. To get Shadow the World, you need to fish up a camera from fishing and use it on the world. Instead of being summonable, the Q skill is a simple slash. It knocks up on ragdolls. The M1s are the same as pretty much every other stand. They feel a little faster, but it might be placebo, I'm not too sure. The E is a simple roundhouse kick. It doesn't knock back or anything, so it's a good little combo tool. The R is similarly an uppercut, only slightly up tilt, so you can also use that as a combo tool. Now for Shadow of the World's T, you'll see it says cool plus evil knives. On other stands that have on Crazy Down for example, it says bearing / rifle, but this one has a plus. So I don't know if this has an alternate form, I can't find one, but it's just a simple projectile. Very quick, 36 damage, it's nice. They also kind of bug out, but it's fine. Your Y skill, Charisma, makes an enemy follow you. During this state, they can't attack you unless you attack them first. On Shadow of the World, your G is a pseudo grab, and I say this because it doesn't function like a traditional grab where you grab them and stun them, but instead you strike them and they're stunned, but then you teleport behind them and they get the knives for anything. That doesn't a huge amount of damage. That's definitely going to get nerfed in the future, but for now it's definitely honestly probably the best just default move in the game. Now, Shadow of the World also has a counter. On H, Scale of Horror, you press it, and you teleport behind whoever hits it. And no one gets stunned, so you kind of teleport, you gotta react quick and just hit them with an uppercut or something. The J is a grab that heals you. It also chucks enemy back. It only heals for 6 HP, so it's more useful as an attack tool. You shouldn't use this to try and heal. Shadow of the World's Z skill is a rush, similar to Standless's. You charge up, run at them and do 55 damage. Shadow of the World also has aerial versions of some of its attacks. The E, the aerial R, And the T. Shadow the World's Y skill, Charisma, is quite interesting. After using it, the enemy is forced to follow you and they cannot use any of their moves until you attack them first, thus nullifying the effect. Now, the final move in Shadow the World's kit is of course the time stop. You press F, you pause time. Any knives you throw are paused, they resume, any damage you done resumes. It's an alright time stop. Next up is Standless. Standless is the ability you get when you start the game, and it's what you have when you have nothing else equipped. It's pretty bad, but I think it's usable. The left click is a simple alternating attack, like most things in the game. The E is a shove that ragdolls and knocks back. The R is a strong attack. The G is a grab, which picks him up, slams him down. And the V, kind of like Shadow the World Z, is a little running attack. And you run into them, knock them back, and this can hit them multiple times, as you can see. The last move in the kit is the T, the Taunt. And to be honest, I have no idea what this does. It doesn't reduce damage, it doesn't give you damage. All it does is put this aura around you. So I think it is quite literally just a taunt. On top of these 6 stand abilities that are currently in the game, there's also 2 abilities that don't not relate to stands. These are Sword and Standless. This sword can be bought from the supermarket for 1,000 life/money. By pressing Q, you unsheath your sword, and has a basic M1 combo of alternating hits. Next up is the E skill, which is the sword's version of Barrage. It is a quick whirlwind. Does moderate damage and knocks back. After that is the R skill, a critical. Like every other R skill in the game, it's quite simple, just a bit worse because it's on sword. There's also the T skill, which is a quick lunge. Similar to the R, the sword has a G, which is a kick.
Mambo, mambo, omatsuri, mambo.
The last thing I want to cover is skins. Whilst using arrows, you may be able to roll a skin. Skins are purely visual changes, and change things like sound effects or VFX. As you can see, I have the world OVA here. It changes some VFX, the R voice line, the Y voice line, the T voice line, the B voice line, the time stop voice line, but it's not letting me use it. It also changes some of the quotes. But it doesn't really change the pose or anything.
Alright, Lego. Alright. Star Platinum skin. There we go. Over here. Let's go. Kinda tough. Kinda tough. Look at the sound effects though. Kinda clean. Kinda clean. God damn. Shit. Alright, that is everything, I think.
Mambo, mambo, omatsuri, mambo.
To start fishing in the game, you need to come over to the Bizarre Fish Shop right behind the Ferris wheel. Here, you'll see out front, there's a barrel with a rod. Simply pick up this rod. It is completely free. After you've achieved a rod, you can come inside to the vending machine, click E, and you'll see you'll be able to buy bait here. Buy as much as you want, it's completely free. I think this will change on full release to actually cost money, but for now, just abuse it. After you've bought bait, talk to Ted. Click rod, and you'll see you can equip your bait here. Make sure to do this, otherwise you won't have any bait, and I don't think fishing will work. Fishing in this game is quite simple compared to a lot of the other games on the platform. After you equip your fishing rod, walk over to a body of water, such as this one. Click to cast your rod into the water, and then you wait for a bite. After you get a bite, you have this GUI on your screen. Hold click to move your green bar, and then once you get to these bars, click as many times as it says on the left. Your goal in this minigame is to stay ahead of the red bar and reach the end before it.
Mambo, mambo, omatsuri, mambo.
After you fish for a while, you accumulate some money. This money can be spent at shops like a bazaar supermarket. Here you can buy fishing rods, brokers, stand arrows, sword. The limited looks the exact same, but it's not finished. But this is probably your main way of getting stand arrows here. Of course, you can buy them for 500, burn, you can buy a sword, etc. Now, if you've been playing the game for a while and fishing getting too boring for you, but you really want some money, this is the place you want to visit, Tim's Tailor Shop. It's near the spawn area and right across from the shop. In here, what you can do is you talk to Tim, and these are accessories, but we're ignoring those right now because they don't work. At the bottom here, you'll see tailoring and stands. Tailoring is this page, but stands is the interesting thing. Here, you can sell any stand that you don't need. Most stands sell for 100, but for some reason, Crazy Diamond is 250. And because it's the second most common stand, this is a really good way to get money. Unlike the other two stores around the map, Tia's Happy Tea is completely useless right now. You come inside, you talk to her, she has nothing for sale aside from this. If you can somehow afford it, I guess you can buy it. It probably does nothing, I wouldn't waste time on it.
Mambo, mambo, omatsuri, mambo.
Now, I do want to preface this by saying that there are so many arrow spawn locations in this game. Just while recording this segment, I found like 3 or 4 more that I didn't know existed at the time. I encourage you to explore by yourself to try and find some that I probably did not include, because there is no way I can get them all. The first stand arrow location is in the watchtower in the far corner of the map.
Whoa there, buddy. This is my arrow. You gotta be a little bit faster than that, pal. It's a dog-eat-dog. We're out here. Don't play. Oh!
An arrow spawns on both the counter inside of the fish store and the bench outside it. There is one that spawns on these logs next to the Ferris wheel. There is one that spawns on this log next to the campfire, which is behind the basketball court. There are 2 arrow spawns at the back of the boat, one outside the door and one inside the cockpit. An arrow spawns on this section of the wall at the basketball court. There are 2 arrows that spawn in these trees behind the basketball court. There's an arrow that spawns on this corner of the wall next to the boat. An arrow spawns on this short piece of wall here and also under that little booth. 2 arrows spawn on these benches here. One spawns on the corner of this little platform where the black container is. There is a spawn on the bleachers to the left of the basketball court. There is a spawn in this empty patch of grass at the shrine. There are 2 arrows that spawn in this kind of spawn area, one on the wall and also one in the plant pot. One also spawns in this corner of the spawn area. The final arrow spawn I found is in this building up here.
Alright, move out of the way, buddy. This is my arrow. Yeah, right into my pocket. Punk. Oh, this is so... Wait, hold on, wait, hold on, wait. Oh my god! Wait, I'll give it back! I'll give it back! I'll give it back!
Mambo, mambo, omatsuri, mambo.
To finish the video off, I want to say a couple of things. I want to again reiterate this is a beta version of the game. You cannot come into this expecting much because there isn't much. And again, the only way we can get to a full release that is good and what you actually want is by you helping the developers. please join the Discord server and please leave feedback. I myself think that this is an amazing foundation for the future. From here, the game can only be built up. In the coming week or two, I have 2 more videos planned for the game. I'm going to make a tier list on the stands and also a video about the planned updates for the game and what the future may look like. I also want to talk about this video as a whole. If you can't tell by the clips, this video has been recorded over roughly 12 hours of time during the release date of the open beta. If you've seen my channel before, you know this is the first time I'm using my voice in a video. It may also be apparent that I have cluttering when I speak, which is why I've tended not to use my voice in past videos. This combined with my accent kinda makes it hard to sometimes tell what I'm saying. To put it simply, I would have liked to use subtitles for this video, but the runtime made that impossible. It would have taken over a week of production and I wanted to get this video out as fast as possible for everybody. In the aforementioned future videos, I also plan to use my voice. So, if you have any feedback from me, how I made the video, how I spoke, anything, please tell me in the comments or DM me on Discord. My top priority is to make helpful videos, and I cannot do that without some feedback. Of course, you don't have to, but what could be a couple of words from you would help me tremendously. So please, if you have any feedback, tell me. Even if the feedback is a video suggestion of what you would like to see next, I would greatly appreciate it. Lastly, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I will reply to every single comment. And the very last thing, thank you so much for watching the video. Even if you skimmed through only looking at some parts you wanted, or you stayed the entire way, I am eternally grateful. Thank you so much and I hope to see you